always mean secured victory.
We've seen some great placements of Wall in particular in Village. We've seen Earth Shatters cancelled out, even by their own teams. So we don't want to see that happen. I think British Hurricane, this roster, has been coordinated enough. Sunu has been the newest addition to it, or of course with Sparker. But they've all leveled out now, and I'm pretty sure the cohesion is going to be there when they come into a very much unified Gigantti.
Indeed. Now, British Hurricane on the point at the moment, just posturing for the time being. This is where you can launch a great wall, and for the time being you see Team Gigantti trying to bait it out a little bit. Bubbles are now down for Gigantti, so they're going to wait for those to come back online. But Davin got himself a nice chunk of charge and is up to that 34%. It will just catch one player off guard here, is Zappis, but now that both teams can engage knowing there's no wall available.
Yeah, but they've already given up point control over the British Hurricane, and they took a sizable amount of resources to keep Gigantti's man up. So they're going to have to back off again and concede this one over to Hurricane, and they're going to have to aggress onto the point into Happy Cool's Bay by now, which will have that all-important wall cooldown back up to isolate and destroy. Going to put one out early, actually, to deny it, and now they're going to throw in a flash shot to find Danid, shut him down, move on to the point, start contesting it. Happy Cool's going to stay up. Davin's found another. Shatter committed, but the fight's already gone in favor of Gigantti. Milky Man's going to throw in his own round the back of a wall, but it's going to be the finished roster taking control of this one and flipping it shy of 30%.
Well played to Zappis there, managed to fully cut off the entire team as soon as Happy Cool was pulled down, meaning that Shadow was pretty much guaranteed. There were no bubbles available for Suna. Both teams running into this next fight with a Graviton available, Transcendence for both teams as well as, but Rally Advantage is in the favor of British Hurricane right now, so they can take the initiative if they so wish in this fight. Obviously there's no Shatters available, so neither team has to be too wary about that. But Team Gigantti currently just staying on point. Now they have that control where it can be for them to decide when they want to use this wall, when they want to cut off members, but they don't want another scrappy fight like last time.
But they're going around the back, flanking Suna behind the back line. They put the wall down to divide and conquer. Going to commit the grab from Davin first. Suna throws his own one out as well. Transcendence is there for Pocket to try and heal up. It's already been Zappe, but this is the Blizzard coming in from Zappis. It's going to be enough for Team Gigantti to take this one away. Just moving into Hurricane. There's not much they can do about it because Happy Cool is still yet to hit that crucial ultimate ability. And
it's great cleanup there from Team Gigantti as well. I mean, they don't use too many of their ultimate. Zuppe is incredible with charging these Transcendence all the time, already 63% to the next one. But the main thing is now Rally Advantage is in the favor of Team Gigantti. But from the way they've been playing Tridd, it seems as though they want to stay more or less on the point and play around Zappis' walls, which have been pretty stellar so far. Happy Cool now has the Blizzard, and obviously Zappis not being on the Diva means that this Blizzard is pretty much free.
Yeah, they're going to have to play around it, obviously vacate the point if that's where Happy Cool decides to plant. He's just waiting for the Discord orb to expire before he presses forward. There's the wall as expected. Throws it around the back of it now, and they've got nowhere to run. They're just stuck in the middle of the snowstorm, and they haven't brought their shoes. They're just going to get it drudged down as expected, and it's an easy cleanup for Hurricane. They're going to get the flip, but we are in final fight territory should Gigantti take it back.
Gigantti, they just know that they've got to weather the Blizzard, right? I mean, you might your big coat all you like, but that Blizzard is going through regardless. Happy Cool makes a wonderful wall there that you can just walk around and then just closes the distance without too much aggression onto him, meaning you can drop down that Blizzard relatively freely. British Hurricane, they have a lot to work with now, and they have to make it work, because if they don't, then it looks like Team Gigantti will just take it on this push. If they can sway the momentum in their favor, however, it starts to look a little bit rough for Team Gigantti, who are down currently on ultimates.
Yeah, Suna's going to be able to put in that Graviton Surge. He's just got that online. So Zuppe's Transcendence pretty much booked for that one. He's not going to be able to place that anywhere else. Lilbo does get that sound barrier to match Yofi when it's committed, and Bocket's going to have one of his own, but the fight has been so slow to start. Here comes that Graviton Surge. As expected, Transcendence coming in. Davin has to throw his own one out, and Bocket can answer. Shatter's being traded. Back equal, but it's Milky Man on the floor currently. Get the sound barrier from Yofi and Lilbo out. The walls are there. Bocket finds the first frag onto Milky Man. That should open up the fight for Hurricane, and Numlock's going to follow through. Bocket with the second. Hurricane forcing this into a very dangerous position for Gigantti, and they still main control.
One last fight now, though. Tridd, main advantage here being the rally from Facility, so they can just aggress onto the point. Zappis picks up the Diva now, so it means that Happy Cool has to be wary about his Blizzard being eaten, but he's been playing very far forward, hoping to wall them off and stop from getting onto the point.
It's going to actually be brutal for them. They can't get through. It's an easy capture for that one, and British Hurricane going to take the first round away from Team Gigantti as we move on to the second.
Very predictable route that they took onto the point there. And yeah, like you said, Happy Cool just shut it down pretty much immediately. Zappis going over to the Diva, trying to get over the top of the wall, but Team Gigantti looked like it was pretty much done and dusted from that last fight. Obviously, the way that both teams used ultimates was very, very good. British Hurricane, however, because they took a quick fight, they're able to take advantage of that small window and pick up a kill in that small amount of time, which really set Team Gigantti back, meant that getting back to that fight was very, very difficult. Really, really nice, though, from Team Gigantti was Facility. His bashes on the Brigitte so far have been very, very stellar. But now we move over to Sanctum. This is a map that's pretty much more dominated by the Winston because you can get around the map a lot easier. Also isn't as susceptible to being lobbed down the hole here, just on the map, on the control point itself for both teams. Well, one team is British Hurricane have selected to play with the Zenyatta, and Team Gigantti, I think they were expecting something a little bit more aggressive and more DPS heavy, so they went to the Moira. Obviously, they have time to make the switch once the control point unlocks, so now it's just mirror compositions.
The only thing they lose for is position, and they've given it over to British Hurricane, who have this aggressive hold. They're backing off, but they've got point control for Numlock to just stay on there with a bubble. They're going to commit resources to fight that, contest it, stop it from going over so easily. But now Gigantti are on this point here. They're going to have to stay behind the bubble shield, rely on Davin's protected barriers, who's sitting at 100 charge right now, ready to shred through anyone who steps up to square down with him. Lilbo, of course, not Lilbo, sorry. Yofi up there, up on the high ground, looking to find some repositions. There's Danny to open it up on a kill onto Davin, meaning that they're going to miss that one out. Soon as taking a ride, Lilbo, as predicted, going to get the environmental. This is Gigantti turning it around, actually. They found 2 kills. Bucket committing the Transcendence because he was forced out. No one else is in real danger, but they want to keep the fight going and maintain control as long as they can, and maybe get British Hurricane back into this one. Milky Man's jumping onto the back line. He's immediately missed out on the chance to get Yofi. He then drops the sound barrier to top up the rest of British Hurricane as he rotates back around to the point. The self-destruct goods should get some clearance, but Lilbo's just able to bully Yofi because he was locked down. He's unable to move. Gigantti will get the flip, but a lot of resources committed from Hurricane to get some early percentage on the board.
Worst thing about that is Davin going down so early in that fight, which means it completely limits the amount of charge you can get towards that Graviton, which means Bucket, although he did invest that Transcendence at the same time as Zuppe, it's a lot more dangerous to Team Gigantti right now because soon as coming to this next one with the Grav Bomb combination, they might not even have to invest the bomb in this situation because Zuppe might just not make it towards that Transcendence, and this could be just a very quick flip.
At 53%, it's going to be difficult. He is building towards it. There's that Grav in the corner. Look at the cleave coming in from the Tesla cannon of Winston. The self-destruct was committed early by Happy. Won't find anyone else out here. Milky Man with the Primal Rage. Going to pop that one, stay alive on the point, try and get some more charge up.
Nice.
Sending someone flying. Soon as taking a dip, and he checks down the pit to make sure he hit the bottom and made a nice little splat, as Zappis will then take out Numlock afterwards. So despite the ultimate advantage British Hurricane had early on into this fight, Gigantti still walk away with it and generate more ults for the next one.
And that's all down to Milky Man. He created so much space there, and as soon as Suna pressed the go button and lobbed that grab in so far away from his team, there was no follow-up other than Numlock being able to jump over there and cleave with the Tesla cannon. It's only 60 DPS though, so it's not a lot, and because Milky Man was in the front line there, no one else was able to walk forward. British Hurricane now down ultimates, but Team Gigantti were able to just weather a lot of it so easily. Now they're able to retaliate in full at 67%. It's a great position to be in.
Going for the boot, they're going to send Davin. He gives a passing gift of a grab, but Josie found 2! Facility and Davin taking a dip. They can only answer with the 1 in return. A scuffed grab bomb combo coming out from Gigantti that was forced by the plays of Yofi. It cost him his life in the end of it, but now Hurricane are moving over to the point as Happy Cool will take out Milky Man and go for the recontest on this one. They're trying to get desperately to get that D-Mech on Zappis. They're going to find it as he stalled out the point to plus 90% charge. There's still someone up there. It's a tick that's buried in there. It's Lilbo bringing it into a dangerous spot for Hurricane to lose control of this game.
Yeah, Zuppe, he uses the Transcendence there towards the end, gains some precious percentage on the point right now. 96%, like you said, it secures that one-fight territory. Team Gigantti, however, all they're working with here is potentially aggressive soundbar into this fight, whereas British Hurricane, they've got a lot to deal with it. That bomb from Happy Cool could do so much.
Well, he's going to send him in. Let's see what he does. He's going to filter out everyone from this room. Numlock can't quite position them in the LOS of that one with the Primal Rage that he's already popped. Sound barrier coming out to top him up. Soon as got a hold of grab, going to plant it strong, lock him down, and make it easy for Hurricane to clean this out. If you're Gigantti, you just go for the next fight. You just have to win the one. Hurricane, they've got a couple more to squeeze out.
They hold the line there. Team Gigantti do such a good job to make such good rotations onto the point and then prevent themselves from being anywhere near those danger points like the Diva Bomb, which forces British Hurricane to use much more than they'd like to. Now they're only running with the Transcendence. Davin doesn't quite have the Graviton yet, but Team Gigantti, they've got all these massive tools to engage with.
That's exactly what they're going to do. Sound Barrier, amp it with the movement speed to push Hurricane off of that stairs position. Zap is sitting on that self-destruct. Might be the showstopper here for Gigantti to get themselves back into control of this point and can control the round. Hurricane have now forced it to 99%. This is the final fight of this round. It could be Hurricane taking the first map in this series, as then we're going to see that bomb go over the top. Zap is looking to find something, someone, and now it's the time of Haftical. Perfect positioning, won't find anyone. The graph actually pulling people too close to the wall for the bomb to find it out. Numlock goes in with the Primaration to find facility. You've already got a couple of kills. Hurricane, they're able to take Village. It looks like they're taking Sanctum, and they're probably going to end up taking the Pal.
Hang on, Milky Man's still on the point for the time being, but yeah, you're right, it's just cleanup. They're donezoed now. Nothing left. I mean, Hurricane, all in all, they play that really, really well. Most of the sound barrier and the transcendent usage is fairly perfect, all in all, for this team. Zup, however, using some very, very early transcendences in those fights means that it's just easily secured for British Hurricane when Suna is just gets the Graviton available, can just throw it in. It's easy cleanup from there for the rest of the team. So this is something we've seen from Zupe just from the recent weeks, is just early trance usage, whereas before he was much more cautious with it.
Yeah, absolutely. It's been a fantastic map so far to kick things off. We've got a couple more to come, guaranteed a minimum of 4. We may see a 5. Let's take a quick break. When we come back, we're going to bring you Blizzard World. Welcome back, everyone, to Overwatch Contenders Europe. It's Hurricane versus Gigantti, who lead the series after a 2-0 performance on the PAL. We're going to move on to our second map, Blizzard World, coming right up for you.
And Hurricane just looked so much more strong, like in this free composition and meta so far. All the ult usage seems really, really good, but it's strange because from Village to Nepal, it felt like Gigantti's ult usage just kind of degraded a little bit. On Village, I was very, very impressed with the sequencing and in order what they use their ult. On Sanctum, it just becomes a little bit more messy. So hopefully we see that now fixed as they had a little break to talk through everything on Blizzard World.
Of course, we're going to be jumping onto that map now. We saw earlier today, obviously, there was a little bit of performance here. Different compositions coming out. We saw Zeal on a Pharah, which is typically a staple pick to him. But one of the best things about Hurricane is they have this versatility in the form of Hafikul. This guy, he can play pretty much anything he's asked to play to a reasonable, if not excellent level. And one of the main flex picks we've seen from compositions so far anyway is the option of potentially a Sombra. So that is always on the cards for him. When we look at Team Gigantti, it's usually Zappies are going on here. So both of these divas are quite the ruckus and the rabble-rousers when they come into fighting in these big team fights. And they're two of the guys to keep an eye on in the rest of this series.
Yeah, they absolutely are. And if you watch any of the other games where it's Team Gigantti or British Hurricane, it's always Hafikul or Zappis who are causing that ruckus in the back. Like you say, it's very difficult to deal with them, and you have to invest a lot of resource. And a lot of times, in the sense of these two teams, sometimes they don't have the CDs available to actually deal with the divas, and they have to focus more on the front line. So Hafikul and Zappis both can get a lot done so far, and it feels like Hafikul, he's the one creating a lot more pressure on the back line. Zappis just feels a little bit afraid to go in at the moment.
Of course, Gigantti on the offense first, and Zappis may have to play a little bit trepidatiously as he looks to try and find a way in here, and going to hold this cover here for British Hurricane as Gigantti just going to take the fight straight to them. Facility using the rocket player whip to knock him back, and Zappe looking for that free ult charge. Very low HP for Yofi, needs to stay up here. Gets donated the armor pack. That's not going to be available for Numlock should any aggression come out from Team Gigantti, but they have to play slow themselves. Davin not looking the most healthy at the moment. They've isolated Hafikul in the corner. This could be really bad for Hurricane, but Bucket will find Davin on the back end of that, so a D-Mech for a Zarya kill. Not the worst trade in the world to make.
And it seems odd, though. Again, that's the second time that Davin has died first in a team fight, which is very, very unlike these free composition. The rest of this is now just cleanup for Hurricane Team Gigantti. They've got to go reset. So far, this is the second big fight now, which is where the ultimates are more in play, especially British Hurricane. And the big thing for them is they want to get away with using as little as possible coming into the next fight, potentially just engaging with the rally, getting the Graviton midway through, and then building everything else afterwards.
Numlock's about to get that Shadow online. He could use that as the option to shut it down if it's good enough, and he can weave it past Milky Man's shield. Zidity, of course, will have the rally ready to go. It's going to be popped in response to Daned's coming down quite early as they're bullying Numlock around. He's low HP, doesn't have the confidence to drop the shield, commit to the shatter. But what is going on? Gigantti are building up ults of their own. They need to keep him up. They can't let him drop down here, especially with that crucial ultimate on the line. There's the first move. It's going to be the Graviton Surge from Suna to take out Davin nice and early. Self-destruct over the top. Beautiful boot. Will set up a kill on Lilbo and a D-Mech on Zappis. They're going to commit 2 ults to that one blank. They still got plenty more in the bag.
Free ultimates as well. You have the rally in the beginning too, and then Diva Bomb and Grav. So it's not ideal for them because the fight ended so quickly. It didn't give a lot of time for Suna or Hafikul to build up towards their own ult. Now it's all on Bucket and Yofi here. They've got to use their ultimates properly in this next fight. They have a lot of defensive capabilities. Team Gigantti, on the other hand, they've only got the sound barrier, so you can expect a very aggressive play from them. Though, we have seen bubbles come out, armor packs come out, and really so far, Team Gigantti, they're not taking advantage or punishing.
Exactly, and Numlocked. He's going to have to be staying up here with that Shadow, like we said. Going to have that Graviton in at a weird angle. Can't necessarily commit as that bomb is placed perfectly on top of them. Sound barrier is there to block it out, but so are the shielding from the rest of Hurricane. There's Sound barrier in response.
Oh,
beautiful
huge.
Shadow from Numlock. They're on the back line. You can tell the priority. It's get rid of Milky Man. Discord Orb, Tunnel Vision coming in from Numlock. Commits the charge to make sure Facility goes down, and they have Suna's grab online for the next attempt.
And that's what I was saying as well. They lost those 2 ults. The other ults had to be perfect. They were. Now British Hurricane at 1 minute remaining have an excellent way to deter this next push. Regardless of whether you've got the Transcendence or not, Team Gigantti, it doesn't matter. As long as a good bash or a good charge comes through into Milky Man, that bomb will clear out the team. That burst damage will just cut through the 300 HPS of the Transcendence all in all. So now both teams just posturing time being. It's the same route that they're taking, but Havikul's just in the back. They try to punish him. He's going to get out of mech. Can't use the self-destruct. Has to use it now to remech.
And it's going to be so unfortunate now because, like you said, the immediate remech denies that combination. The Graviton is going to have to be done without it. They're going to be relying on pure damage, and Numlock's charge will be enough to take out Davin. Facility is going to be removed as well. Zap is going for a fast reset. He knows Gigantti have only got one more fight in this.
26 seconds remaining. Bucket has a Transcendence, however, can definitely use as a tempo play alongside the rally, as well as Team Gigantti. It doesn't matter if this is a tempo play from the Transcendence, as long as they finish the fight quickly. And let me remind you guys, if you've been carrying, that's the 4th time Davin has died first in the fight. It's really excellent play from British Hurricane. They're shutting down this Zarya every time, and it's for good reasons. Davin is such an extremely high tempo Zarya. It's difficult to deal with him once he gets going.
Hopefully he can stay alive a little bit longer in this next fight. Shatter completely cancelled out. Milky Man blowing an ultimate to the Quantum Wind. His Facility is going to get his one off. Requires less skill to just press Q and get a budget Transcendence. There's the self-destruct over the top in the middle of nobody. Zappe will find damage on the back line. Yofi has to commit the sound barrier in. There's a window of opportunity here for Gigantti to get back into it, and it just keeps getting smashed open by a crowbar. The Facility will take out Numlock and push them all onto the point. They're not ready to give up Blizzard World yet. They're moving on to the escort section.
Finally, what looked like we only had one fight remaining, Team Gigantti turned it into much, much more than that. It's a full-on brawl on the point. And now, not only because that fight is so long, not only do they secure this point, they also get more ultimates on the board. British Hurricane, it felt to me that Yofi held onto that sound barrier for a very long time, despite Numlock being in a very difficult position. And Numlock almost got denied any of that sound barrier just because Milky Man was holding the shield on top of him, which LOSs that ultimate and stops it from going through. Now Davin has this Graviton Surge to push through this choke. So far, British Hurricane, they have to use a lot of cooldowns already, and there's the grab.
Sooner to get them on the back of the payload, keep him out of the choke. Numlock isolating Lilbo. He's done that twice off the back of grabs now, getting those charge kills in and shutting everything down without any extra resources committed. They've still got the self-destruct, Earth Shatter, and they're building towards a Transcendence as well.
Coming straight back to that point you made, yeah, Numlock keeps getting key targets in the Graviton, charging Davin to begin with, and now Lilbo, which denies any form of disengage using that speed boost. And now British Hurricane, despite having that bad fight, now they've set themselves up to deny this Graviton with the Transcendence.
Need to find a way to get into it. Like I said, Numlocked. He's got that Earth Shadow. He's had a big one so far, looking for number 2. He can just get behind. Milk is shielding. He's looking to do the same thing. Shield health not looking very good for him. There's that Graviton Surge pulling him onto the payload. As expected, Transcendence, Sound Barrier, Self-Destruct, all committed to this next fight. No kills. He's back, and Numlock comes back into it, isolating Milky Man for Danner to then pick up the kill again. And they want to get this D-Mech here. Shut down Zappis, let him go into the swim, have a reset, and they got Sooner's grab back online to stall this out even further.
So well played from Numlock, kept alive by Bucket in that clutch situation with the Transcendence, and then it seems that Numlock brings Milky Man on a ride to Terabithia, and it ends just as badly. Team Gigantti now, they have to make this shatter big. It's the big play they need. 44 seconds on the clock. There's not a lot of time remaining here, Tridd.
Wants to break through. Numlock has to press W to do that one, but British Hurricane not letting him. And the Graviton Surge locks him in place. Pocket finding Lilbo as expected.
Wonderful block.
And they can't get through here. Zappe have to use that Transcendence to keep everyone up. They don't have it for the next fight. 25 seconds remaining. They're going back to the spawn room to not give anything else up here. Milky Man used the shatter in that and found nothing for it.
None at all. Facility though, he has that rally and Zappis has the bomb. It has to be a hyper-aggressive fight from Team Gigantti here because they've got to cut through the Transcendence, this sound barrier, and already a lot of them are very low.
Well, there's the rally coming out from Facility. We still got the self-destructive Zappis to go. Davin might get his grab online in this fight, but he needs to keep contesting the payload. It forces Zappis to go forward first. There's the self-destruct on the back line. Will be blocked out. The pin not going to come through for Numlock this time as it's countered out by Milky Man. But Bucket still finds Zappis on the D-Mate. Zappe finally punishes the main tag. The grab comes out from Davin. He will lose his life, but it does open it up for Gigantti to keep this going. They might be able to move the payload further, but any further progress progress will have to be done in overtime, and committing a Transcendence to a fight that was pretty much won there makes it so difficult to keep the momentum going for Gigantti.
Zupe is just so terrified of Suna right now. The amounts of damage this guy is putting out so far is incredible. The only mistake he's really made so far is trying to secure that fight with the Graviton. Too many members of his team had gone down. Sure, he was very close to it, but I think investing it there was probably not the greatest place to do it. They could have just waited for overtime, unleashed the Graviton, but now there is no Transcendence. There is a sound barrier, however, and a lot of these aggressive plays seem to be paying off for Team Gigantti, but Milky Man, he has to step up. So far, Numlock is completely outplaying him.
It could continue to be more of the same here as he goes down incredibly low, drawing more resources from his team into him to keep him up. And he goes down. Tried committing the Earth Shatter again, but soon as just shred through him. No value again from these ultimates coming out from the main tank of Gigantti. They're still going to commit the ultimates. They have to stay on here though. Overtime's in effect. They can't step up. Grab off the point. He eats it in the back line. Not an eat in sight. And Hurricane are going to shut down Gigantti's push.
That was a grab all the way from the back of the warehouse there. Team Gigantti just not able to even secure point B. And if there's any way to describe Team Gigantti right now, it's scared. They refuse to walk forward versus British Hurricane. And even when that bomb comes out from Hafikul into the air, where, you know, it's usually pretty easy just to stand underneath this bridge, LOS the bomb and not take any damage from it, they still invest the sound barrier. So scared at the moment. They don't want to die to anything from British Hurricane. And British Hurricane just looked better from week to week to week, and that's not stopped. Now they're looking like, I don't know, man. It looks very tough to break this. No.
Absolutely, and there's a very good reason why they are undefeated as of yet. They're joined by Angry Titans, of course. There were some doubts of whether how successful that undefeated streak was, considering their final 2 weeks are some of the most difficult in the season, because they have Gigantti this week, and they have AT the week after. And you look at the standings, these are pretty much, they're in a league of their own, effectively. Yeah. So you can kind of cast doubt over the undefeated record, but the performance they're putting in against Gigantti starts to contradict that narrative.
Yeah, and at the top of the ladder, at the beginning of the season, the rungs seemed very, very far apart. But now, as we come further through, Team Gigantti and Angry Titans, the rungs seem so close, you barely need to even use your hands to reach up anymore. Team Gigantti, however, they have to start doing something about this, because there doesn't seem to be any punish coming through. And British Hurricane seem like that team where it is a team you have to punish when they do this. Especially if Hafikul's going to come out on the Sombra, they cannot allow themselves to be poked down, take damage, and get that EMP going early, because Team Gigantti, they'll just get rolled in the case. They have to milk as much time as possible out of point A if they're able to hold on point B, because that EMP almost guarantees the point A take, unless barring some kind of massive mistake from British Hurricane.
Trying to see where Hafikul's disappeared to. It looks like he's staying on the Sombra. He's not gone back to the spawn room just yet. Going to get some little bit of damage, hopefully into someone, and find another angle in. He is drawing a lot of attention. They have to be aware of where that Sombra is if he shows, and now he goes back into stealth, and it's just anyone's guess about where he might be. But they're going to emerge onto Hurricane. They kind of had that idea that he was in their backline, so they press forward. The aggression you alluded to, Blank, earlier coming into effect there, but they weren't able to get anything for it.
Because you don't have that Diva Matrix, it means you can kind of just run at the team of British Hurricane and just do as much damage, apply as much pressure as possible. Hafikul, however, keeps finding these very good angles to do damage to the backline, and there seems to be no time when Zappis is actually trying to take him out. But there's the first push. Numlock goes down.
Immediately, they're able to punish him. Milky Man's able to find that out quite nicely. Bocket will answer with more of the same. David was able to put on some X-ray goggles, find Hafikul in the back line somewhere. Going to quit the Graviton Surge from Suna. They think they're going to be able to win this one, and by God, Blank, they're going to be able to do it, despite losing some critical members early into the fight.
Whoever is tracking the ultimates on British Hurricane, it might be the entire team, but they've done an excellent job there. They understood that Zupe, he's not had too much of a chance to actually get towards that Transcendence, because a lot of those skirmishes were over very, very quickly, and British Hurricane have been playing very much around corners, around areas where Zupe can't really get those right clicks in. So now, Team Gigantti, they get both their support ultimates, but when they needed them most, they didn't have them. So British Hurricane, now they have the EMP online, and they can completely shut down both of these support ultimates and make sure neither goes through.
And this is something that Team Gigantti have to be conscious of. Surely they know that Hafikul must be getting close to that EMP. Is he going to commit it to the fight nice and early, as expected? We'll get that Transcendence off. Lilbo going to stay on that sound barrier for now. Doesn't have a choice in the matter. Shatter followed up by Numlock. If you're Team Gigantti, you just hold on to the ults here. This is a lost fight for you, and you've got a benchmark that you need to defend that's not very far away.
Yeah, you have to, but sooner He's coming up on the Graviton. Transcendence was used there, although it was a very, very good one with the reaction speed. With that EMP, there's no cooldowns to keep anyone alive, so with the good focus fire coming out from British Hurricane, they were to remove Milky Man from the fight, and immediately afterwards, Numlock can engage that massive Earth Shadow with no shield to block. Again, a massive yeet!
You're just unbelievable. He gets away with this, unpunished all the time. Shadow will knock down Bucket. He stays up quite handedly. The Sound Barrier, of course, comes out, as does the Rally, and now they have the advantage. Hurricane just able to get that Sound Barrier out afterwards, and they get a bit of an advantage with the HP bar. Another Shadow drop down. Won't find anyone here. Self-destruct over the top, and Gigantti are still keeping control of this one, despite a very difficult start to the fight.
But it's 3 minutes 38. You've got to slog through now. Transcendence, Grav Bomb available for Gigantti. I've got to commend Davin in that fight in particular. Really nice projected barriers and self-barriers to prevent Numlock's Shadow from coming through, despite Milky Man arguably going a little bit too aggressive there, so Davin becomes the shield of the team in the moment. But Bucket, he has a Transcendence to kind of outlive this Graviton for a little while, but the bomb, like I said earlier, should cut through that if they can make a good engage.
I'm not going for a risky charge.
Nice.
Does knock Davin off the high ground, and Happycool's then able to pick up Milky Man. No LOS to give any barriers, even if they were on cooldown. As Happycool burns through the main tank, and the payload's being pushed closer to the objective. They might have to start this one off 5v6. The spawn move's not too far away for Milky Man to get back, and no one touches. They had a chance to fight that one. They had the spawns coming in, and unfortunately, Team Gigantti's Blizzard World just being cut short. Hurricane going into the half, 2-0.
It was pulled out from underneath them. I don't think they expected that at all. So either it's Daned or it's Yofi over there who managed to boop whoever tried to touch the payload away, because it was so close. I think it was a couple of meters away and out from. So once that payload starts rolling, as long as no one's there in time to touch it, then it just rolls on through. So very, very well played to the entirety of British Hurricane there. Push it all the way through. But Team Gigantti, like I said, they had a chance. They had a massive chance and they just didn't take it. And that seems to be the reoccurring theme throughout both maps we've already seen.
Very fast series so far. I felt the urge to check my watch then to see how long we've been going here, because obviously it's cut short quite just by Blizzard World's performance and that long stall on point A. But then you've got to remember, we got a 2-0 scoreline on the PAL as we check in on some highlights here. And it just looks like Hurricane walking away with this one out, but it did seem a lot closer on our first map.
Yeah, definitely so. I mean, it's not quite the speed run of last week versus Yab. So Gigantti are doing a good job. So I think this actually was the best part. In that small room we just saw, Happycool was isolated, waiting to take out and do a little bit of damage in the backline to the members of Team Gigantti. But what happens is they spot him out and they immediately punish that positioning. Now, that is exactly what I want to see from Team Gigantti. And it's what we saw in the early weeks, and they did it very, very well. But the moment that some of the coming or some of the positioning just seems to be a little bit off at times, and when someone else presses the go button like Visility, it feels like there's a good 3 seconds there where they're unsure whether they want to push in or they want to disengage.
Well, the team might not be as coordinated as they have been in previous matchups, but of course, this is only the first half. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we're going to bring you Volskaya Industries.